podcast.
Welcome everybody to the Celtic Forever podcast. We've got John here to go through the massive preview. St Mirren against Celtic on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. Massive game for us, because we'll be playing catch up by that point, John. I think obviously Rangers play Ibrox before us this time, so they've got a chance to claw back to 10 points. But we'll go through some housekeeping first. First of all, how you doing, John?
I'm all good, aye. How's yourself?
Yeah, all good, John. Just looking forward to yet another game. But I think after Saturday's game, we're back to one game a week.
Aye, it'd be good to get a wee rest into the players. Aye, that's been a long time coming, isn't it? It's just been game after game after game. The players, obviously, after St Mirren, a well-earned rest for a few days, eh?
Yeah, well-earned rest. I think we've got a full week's rest. In fact, I think it's 8 days rest between St Mirren and Hibs. So Saturday to the Sunday without a game. So a wee bonus there for the players, John. So finally getting a well-deserved rest, as you said. Right, okay, some news, gossip, rumours. We always like to start with this, don't we, John? So Rangers fans now allowed to return to Celtic Park. Celtic fans now allowed to return to Ibrox. I have worked it out as 4% of each stadium capacity, John. So I'm working out to Rangers are allowed 2,400 supporters into Celtic Park, and Celtic are only allowed 2,040 supporters into Ibrox. It just isn't right, is it?
I'm not happy with this for a start. Just to start with, I ain't happy with them back in Celtic Park. If anybody was going to end that dispute, it had to be them. They're the one that started it. And it's only fair for them to say, right, we'll have our fans missing for this game because we started it and we'll let you back in at Ibrox. So right away, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with any of it, to be honest with you. The allocation numbers, the fact that they're back in the stadium, no happy at all. I was always happy to keep it. No fans there and none of their fans at Celtic Park. I'm raging with that, Xander.
Yeah, and that's where the anger doesn't end there for me either, John. That is bad enough. They started it. We've got to finish it. Pathetic, to be honest with you. We're just a bigger club, the bigger men, the bigger women, John. We're just a bigger club, bigger fan base. We can end it. That's fair enough. But the biggest thing for me, John, is these security nets, John, are still not up. We've all seen Ibrox over the last few days with their defeats at Ibrox against Minnows, etc. John, St Mirren as well. And there's still no security nets up there. So I don't think there's going to be any security nets up at Ibrox before Celtic fans go to Ibrox.
Definitely not. There's no chance in a million years they're not going to spend money in nets. Can't afford to pay their players' wages, let alone put up some nets. There's no chance they're going to have security nets up. It's a dangerous place to go for Celtic and most other teams as well, not just Celtic. I'm not happy with any of that stuff at all. It really angered me when I read that this morning. Not happy at all.
Yeah, especially with the lesser quantity of supporters allowed into Ibrox, Sean. It's a good 360 less. They've got 360 more Rangers fans in at Celtic Park than what there is at Ibrox. It should have been, if they're going to do anything, it should have been 3,000 to each stadium, something like that, John, instead of this 4% nonsense. So Celtic are getting punished yet again, John. So let's move it on. No security nets, John. Players getting, coins thrown at them, bottles, lighters, you name it, getting thrown at them, glass on the pitch. Coaches with their heads burst open. You can go on and on and on and on. And Arnie Engels, the most recent one, wasn't it? With the coin off the eye, could have lost an eye, John. So we've got to all that to look forward to at Celtic Park as well now. So let's move it on, John. Let's move it on. We can't do anything about it. The fans are now allowed back into both stadiums. Right. Colin, referee Colin, Willie Colin, John, he's came out and said that I know we're going back a couple of games here, but he's come out and said the goal should have stood against Hibs, John. So the points are already gone. The 1 point or the 3 points we would have gained from that game are already gone. But referee Willie Collins came out and said that that goal should have stood. What do you think of that?
Well, I initially thought it was over the line, but then Alistair Johnson's legs a bit behind the line. Maybe that kind of threw it for me. I think it threw it for a lot of people. But with Brendan Rodgers not being happy, and the fact that the linesman on the day never flagged for it being out of the park, his word, he's a linesman, that's his job to keep an eye on the lines. And he never flagged for it being out of the park. So Willie Collins just added that to it as well. It wasn't over the line. Yet again, Celtic's been robbed. So, by the way, touching on fans, Hibs allocation of 7,000 for Celtic Park. Now, we welcome that. Hibs fans are always well behaved. That's always good to have the Hibs fans in. 7,000 Xander for the cup tie.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Cup ties rules slightly different, isn't they, John? So yeah, that'll be good to see. Such a big away support, John. To be honest with you, that's impressive. 7,000. But yeah, welcome that, John. Not a problem. But that's probably one of the most away supports I've seen at Celtic Park, John, in a long, long time.
It's the biggest away support in 7 years, apparently, at Celtic Park. So the Hibs fans are going to fill that corner up where the away fans are, and they're going to fill a wee bit of the stand behind the goals as well there. So, so not be good to have the Hibs fans there in big numbers at Celtic Park. Looking forward to that. Not so much the other mob with their 2,000, whatever it is, 2,300 or something. But anyway, I'm just digressing a wee bit there. Back to the ball being over the line incident.
Sorry, John, but we'll keep with the Hibs because that is I didn't know that actually. That's going to be strange to see so many away fans in at Celtic Park. Obviously, the cup games are different, and I think the allocation is normally higher for a cup game, so that's good to see.
It's normally about 2,600, I think, Hibs fans at Celtic Park. Normally when they come in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have 7,000 there, Xander. That's a lot. That's the allocation that Rangers used to get at Celtic Park.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's quite impressive, as I say. It was strange to see so many away fans in at Paradise, John.
Sold out as well, by the way.
Yeah, sold out. Yeah, it's going to be a good game, that one, isn't it? 3 o'clock on the Sunday. Next Sunday, a week on Sunday. But we've got a massive game coming before that, John. Let's get right into that, actually. Let's get right into that game right now, John. Let's start the preview. St Mirren versus Celtic. Right. Let's start with what we usually start with, John. Referee for this one is Matt McDermott. He's the man in charge, with Andrew Dallas on the VAR. Our good friend Andrew Dallas, John, he's on the VAR. Hope he does a better job than Alan Muir at the Hibs game, John, when he's disallowed another perfectly good goal, by all accounts. So he's on the VAR anyway, Andrew Dallas, John. Quick look at the odds for this one. St Mirren are 11-1, John, to win at home. I find that strange after them no long beating the Rangers at St Mirren Park, John. That's very strange. 11-1. I thought maybe that would have been brought down to about maybe 71, maybe even a wee bit less. But no, the bookmakers are sticking with Celtic hot favourites. 11-1, 5-1 the draw, and 1-4 a Celtic win at St Mirren Park, John. That's a wee bit strange, do you think?
I just think it comes down to St Mirren. They don't really have a great record against Celtic. Maybe it comes down to that. Celtic obviously losing the game against Hibs, but bouncing back against Aberdeen fantastically. I think Celtic, they should be overwhelming favourites. I'm only thinking the bookies are thinking the same way I'm thinking. St Mirren, although they perform well against Celtic, the record against them is quite poor, Xander.
Yeah, John, the record isn't great for St Mirren, as you say, but they are just off the back of beating Rangers at Ibrox. Okay, they were off away in midweek there, John, as well, weren't they? And they came out away from Hearts with a 3-1 defeat. So maybe that's something to do with the pricing. I don't know, but Yeah, I think that's strange odds, 11-1, St Mirren at home. After them just beating Rangers at Ibrox. But we'll take it, John, because it puts the bookmakers think there's only going to be one winner there. I suppose that's the one way of looking at it.
Well, this is it. One winner, but look, as I keep saying, I know it's becoming my catchphrase, it's 11 against 11. Anything can happen. So, but what the bookies think is probably the same as what I think, and going by the record, St Mirren against Celtic, they've not a great record.
Yeah, that's it. All right, John, let's move on then. Let's get into the injuries. Celtic have just their usual two into it. We've got wee Jamesy Forrest. He's back training, but he's not quite ready to return, so that's status quo there. And Bernardo is still out for another couple of weeks, John. In fact, I think Bernardo, it's just been announced that he's going to miss the Glasgow derby as well. So, no great news for him, not great news for us, John, because we need as strong as a midfield as possible, especially for coming up against the Rangers.
We always need our strongest players. Bernardo, he's a great sub to bring on, I think, and it is bad that he's going to miss that. Jamesy Forrest will be okay for that one. That'll add a wee bit of strength to the team. So, Bernardo's going to be a miss, but we've got decent midfielders there to step in, Luke McCown and the likes,
Yeah, that's it. All right, John. St Mirren injuries then. They've got 3 or 4 out, I think. Evan Money, ankle injury. Lakaviti, hamstring injury. Colin McMenamin, calf injury. Yeah, that's 3 injuries for them, actually, John. So they've got 3 out. So more or less, they were out for the last few games. They were out for the Rangers game as well. So no change for St Mirren there, really, with the 3 injuries. But let's have a wee touch on the squad then, John, the team, the lineup. We're playing okay. That was a decent performance against Aberdeen. We're going to have a wee word on that soon enough, the Aberdeen game, but we'll stick with St Mirren just now. 5-1 win, John, at Celtic Park. We'll take that form into St Mirren Park. So I think he's just going to stick with the same team, John. I don't think there's any need for any change, especially with that 8-day rest coming up. I think he's going to go with the same team. What are you thinking, John?
I think so. Barring any players showing signs of fatigue or anything like that, I agree with you. I think it should just be the same team that started against Aberdeen. Why change it?
Yeah, that's it. Why would you change it? Maybe he'll maybe have a look at, because it is a tricky tie, it is away to St Mirren. They're good at home, St Mirren. They played really well at I was going to say Love Street there, at St Mirren Park. They played really well there, John. They're a good team, good solid outfit. So we're going to need our strongest team. So I don't think there'll be any changes at all. I'm just trying to think who he could bring on. No, I think he's going to start with the usual, John. I'll quickly run through it. Casper in goal, Trusty and Vickers at the back, Alistair Johnson and Schlupp at left back, Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate, Arnie Engels, Jota, Diza Meader up front, and your man Kuhn on the right, John. The only other thing I can see him doing is starting with the physical presence of Adam Meader.
Quite possibly because St Mirren are a big physical team, but I don't think it should change it. Maeda terrifies defenders. He really does. Adam Maeda, although he's physical, I don't think he adds the same terror to defenders' eyes as what Dyson was. In fact, isn't even bordering on remotely close to Dyson, is it?
No, he's turning into he's always been a top quality player, but he's turning into a top class striker for us, John. He really is, and it's brilliant to see Dyson up top like that, and obviously we've got Dyson there as well in case we need to change things up, or if he wants to start with Ida, if he wants to start with Ida, he can change things up, so he's got that choice, he's got the options, John. So that it's only good news for Celtic, it's only good news for us, but it's just magnificent to see Dyson playing up front and scoring plenty of goals as well, John.
Aye, scoring bags. It's at 27 he scored this season, 26, 27 goals. And considering he's played most of that on the left-hand side, he's not been playing as a striker. Unbelievable return. Him and Nicholas Kuhn both banging in the goals. But Dyson, top player. And I said to you before, look, I'm not missing Kyogo at all. I think I just texted you that right enough. I don't think I said it on here, but Are Celtic missing Kyogo with the form that Dyson's in? Not at all, Sander.
Yeah, that's lovely to see, isn't it? Okay, let's have the other wee word on the squad I wanted to mention, John, was Greg Taylor. Wasn't there for the Aberdeen game. Youngsters getting on before. In fact, I don't even think he was on the bench against Aberdeen, was he? I'm not too sure, but it's not looking good for young Greg Taylor. Is it? There's still no word of any signing of any contract, John, either. It looks as though young Greg could be on his way.
I think so. I think that's going to be a good free signing for somebody, that Greg Taylor on a free.
Yeah.
I like Greg Taylor. He's a cracking wee left back. It gives his all for the jersey as well, Greg Taylor. So it's going to be a big loss for Celtic. But when I'm comparing him to Jeffrey Schlupp, who I don't like saying it, but he just looks a far more composed left back, better quality, more pace, gets forward, puts in a good cross, got a good shot on him as well. I'm looking at Jeffrey Schlupp and thinking, can we get him on a permanent contract?
Yeah, it's maybe wages stumbling block there, John. But you see these teams, Aberdeen, Hibs as well. When he was on the park, popping that ball down to our left-hand side, John, and Jeffrey Schlupp wins it in the air every single time. No, as you say, nothing against wee Greg, but he didn't win most of those duels. Just because of his height, obviously. But Jeffrey's winning 95% of the duels, John, when that long ball's getting played down to the left. So it's good to see, and he's got that passing ability. He's got a shot on him as well. He can defend, John. I don't think it's going against him as his age, I suppose. What is he, 32, coming up for 33 now, Jeffrey Schlupp? So, yeah, it's just a shame to see it phase out like that for Greg Taylor. Unless I'm totally mistaken. Maybe he's injured or something, John. I'm not too sure. But it's just a shame to see his career at Celtic fading out like that.
Aye, he's been a good servant for Celtic. And look, it isn't over yet. He could possibly sign a deal. But with Kieran Tierney coming in the summer, it's not looking good for him, is it?
No. But as you say, John, what we can do is wait and see if he signs that extension or even a new contract. It's not an extension, is it? If he signs that new contract, we'll wait and see what's in the pipeline, John. We can only hit out with rumours and gossip as regards to Greg Taylor. Anything else we can think of? I don't think he's going to start with Luke McCowan, is he? I think he's going to start with the usual three, John.
I think so, aye. Real Hatate, McGregor and Arnie Ingles. I think that's going to be the midfield three. We'll wait and see. It's Brendan Rodgers we're talking about here. He's known to throw the odd surprise in, shall we say.
Yeah, that's it. Because he turned Jeffrey Schlupp off against Aberdeen and put Scales in there, didn't he? I think that's what he did. So, all right, John, that's it. Okay, that wraps it up for the big preview. All we need then is a wee correct score from you. It's going to be really tough, isn't it? Again, maybe even similar to the Hibs game, John. We can't afford to come out lackluster like we did against Hibs. We need to come out the traps, like a greyhound, John, at full speed, and just go straight for the jugular against St Mirren, John. That's what we're all looking for.
Exactly, aye. It's just the amount of games that's maybe hampering Celtic's performances a wee bit. They're maybe not as fast getting up and down the park. Although they've looked quite good, to be honest with you, but you can see that taking its toll, especially against Aberdeen. I thought the players looked, trying to get back. They were a bit slower than normal. They played so many games. It's a game, then 2 days rest, then another game, 2 days rest, then another game. And it did. I think it did show against Aberdeen, even though we won 5-1. But we'll just need to just hope they've got this burst of energy from somewhere against St Mirren and hope for the best. But a score prediction, obviously, it's just a prediction. It's not really based on that much. Maybe fatigue plays a part in the prediction. So I'm going to go for 2-0 Celtic.
Yeah. 3 points is a must, isn't it, John? As I say, after this game, there's only 9 games left, so we're definitely approaching that finishing line. So I'll say 3-0 to Celtic, John. I think Celtic will come out of that one with a good enough, comfortable enough evening, because it's an evening kick-off into it. I think it'll be comfortable enough. 3-0 for me. Let's run through the rest of the SPL club games, John. Sorry, at the weekend. Just quickly run through that. The prediction time, 10-4 it is to you still, and our predictor. So Dundee St Johnstone.
10-5.
You can still give me that one, are you?
Well, it counts, doesn't it? You made a prediction, you got it right, so it counts. Dundee against St Johnstone. St Johnstone won their last game, so they're battling that relegation. Like I keep calling them, the great survivors. They always seem to find themselves in that relegation battle and find their way out it. I'm going to go for a draw, 1 each.
Yeah, it's looking like a draw, that one for me. That's, I don't know. I don't like going for the old draws. So I'll give it to Dundee. As you said, St Johnstone, they do battle, especially when it comes to the sort of business end of the season, if you like. So I'll give it to Dundee though, and I'll say 2-0 to Dundee. Rangers Motherwell, Ibrox, John.
Wee square ball. Good recovery the other night, wasn't it? Beating Kilmarnock 4-2. Never seen any of the game, of course, but to come back for 2-0 down and win 4-2, I think that maybe gave them a wee lift. I'm going to say 3-0 Rangers.
No, I'm going to go with the draw. I don't like doing draws, as I say, but I'm going to go with the draw. I think they were lucky the other night. Kilmarnock had chance after chance to bury them to make it 3-0. They never took their chances. So Kilmarnock put their all in, and then they more or less just collapsed, with no energy. So I'm going to say Motherwell off the back of a win as well, aren't they? 1 each, John, at Ibrox. 1 each for me. Ross County against Kilmarnock.
I'm going to go for a Ross County winning this one. Just because Kilmarnock lost their last game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Ross County.
Yeah, I'll say. I don't know if you're getting picked up, John, but there's a lot of feedback. There's a motorbike just past me there. There's a lot of feedback, so I don't know if I'm picking up everything you're saying. I'll say 2-1 to Kilmarnock. Okay, and St Mirren against Celtic, we've already spoke about, John. We've gave our guesses for that. Just a wee quick word on Bruni Watch. His last 2 games, John, he's lost, hasn't he? So he seems to be up and down this season, Bruni, didn't he? But he's still in 3rd position. And he's got a game against Airdrie on Saturday, John. Against Airdrie. Ayr United at home. What do you think for Bruni?
A wee bounce back, 3-0 Ayr United.
Right, and stick with Saturday for now. We've got East Kilbride against Celtic B, John. Just to get a wee prediction of. We don't normally do this. We'll get a wee prediction of you, John. East Kilbride against Celtic B.
I got no idea. I don't know anything about the teams. Celtic B, I've watched a few times, but East Kilbride, they famously gave Celtic a good game in the cup. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah.
I'll go for a 2-1 Celtic B1.
Okay, John. And let's move on to Sunday then. We've got back to the SPL. Hibs against Hearts, John. That looks like a wee tasty fixture there. Hibs against Hearts.
Both teams on a wee bit of form. Hibs are flying right now. I'm going to stick with a Hibs win this one. I'm going to say 3-1 Hibs.
All right. And they are in form, Hibs, but it all depends, I don't know. They are unbeaten. Is it 16, 17 games unbeaten? It is quite impressive, isn't it? I'm going to say 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 to Hibs, John, for me. 1 for me as well. So Aberdeen against Dundee United.
Where is it, Pittodrie?
Is that Pittodrie? Yeah.
I'm going to go for a narrow Aberdeen 1-0 Aberdeen.
Yeah, after that thumping again, John, I think they're going to. They've not got the best, track record when it comes to getting heavy defeats like that. So I'm going to give it to United. 2-1 to Dundee United, John. Right, okay. We quick word on the Aberdeen game then, John. That's because we need to move on quite quickly here.
Well, Hibs thumped Dundee United midweek, aye.
Hibs beat Dundee United 3-1 away in midweek, John. Yeah. So as I say, they're unbeaten in like 17 now. So yeah, they're decent. Aberdeen, regards to Aberdeen, John, I think the gubbins, so I think their heads are going to go down. Hearts, John, on the other hand, they're in the back of a 3-1 win against St Mirren, so Hibs and Hearts, it's going to be close, it's going to be tough, but yeah, we'll give our predictions, John. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, Aberdeen. Let's get into the Aberdeen game, John. A wee quick word on that. That was decent result, wasn't it? Brendan wasn't happy with the first half. I don't know how you can be happy when you're going in at half time 3-0 up. Goals from Dyson Maeda. A lovely wee volley for Dyson, wasn't it, John, actually? Although people say it was inside the box, blah, blah, blah. To me, that was a brilliant goal, a lovely finish. On the 24th minute, Dyson, then there was a sort of scuff shot for Jota, wasn't it? But he still found the net. He sort of a miskicked it, but it still went into the back of the net to make it 2-0. And then Callum with his usual effort, John, right on half time. Bit of a sickener for Aberdeen, that one right in half time, but we went in 3-0 up. John, you couldn't ask for any more, really.
I thought it was a good first half. I thought Celtic were okay. Like I say, it looked a wee bit lethargic. That's understandable, but if you're banging in 3 goals, going in at half time 3-0 up, there's no complaints.
Definitely no complaints at all. It was so comfortable. It was very relaxing, wasn't it, watching that game, John? It really was. Into the second half, then John Yang gets his goal. Into another nice finish from Yang. That's a couple in his last few games, John. So yeah, another nice finish, and that was a sort of volley in off the post as well. That was a lovely finish from Yang. He's getting better and better as well. So long may that continue. And then of course, Dyson gets his second goal in injury time to grab himself a wee brace there, John. Just a bog standard finish by his standards. Dyson made a lovely wee finish, makes it 5-1, because obviously Morris got that goal, John, that ended Celtic's chance of getting the best clean sheet record at Celtic Park in Celtic's history. Morris scoring on the 90th minute. What was your thoughts then, John?
I never really had any thoughts on that Aberdeen score. The only thing I thought when Celtic were 4-0 up, I was thinking, looks like Xander could be getting his score prediction right. And then Dyson put in a 5th. So you were nearly right.
Yeah, 4-1. I think I said it was 4-1 in the 93rd minute. Yeah, it was close, but it was good to see that goal going in, John. It really was, because you don't like the away team scoring the last goal in the game, didn't you? So Celtic went up the park and just more or less put the foot to the pedal and bagged another goal. We've got that in us, John. We've just got that, and we've done the same at Easter Road as well, John. That goal should have stood. That would have been 2 each. Would have won the game possibly as well. But the referees and the VAR just made sure that wasn't going to happen.
Cheats otherwise. I was going to say something about the Aberdeen game. The Aberdeen fans singing through the minutes, applause. No taking part in the minutes, applause, just singing through it. Why was nothing says about it in the papers and the TV and all that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's only one club that gets picked on when it comes to things like that, John. Especially in the big poppy day. That's when Celtic get beat with a hammer all over Britain, John. But other clubs do it constantly, and nothing ever gets said. We've brought all this up before, John. I think we're the only ones that actually highlight this sort of stuff, John, to be honest with you. I really do, because I don't hear it anywhere else. So, yeah, Celtic get beat up with a stick and a hammer every single year in November, and then all through the year, these sort of things happen, John, and not a word said about it. So thanks for bringing that up. You're actually bang on, John. Okay.
Nothing off the commentator.
No,
nothing
at all.
Nothing like we apologise to the Celtic fans who had to endure that. Nothing.
No, and that will never be the case, John. That will never be the case. Ian Crocker's only apologises when it affects the Rangers supporters. So, and I've said it for day one, John. For we started this podcast, we've been bringing this stuff up. So, we'll continue to bring it up, but nothing gets done about it. We also done a poll to keep the Rangers fans out of Celtic Park, didn't we? And there was thousands entered that poll. There you go. A few weeks later, they're in the Celtic Park. We'll be going to Ibrox, and there'll be no safety nets, John. We bring it all up, and nothing ever gets done about it. All right, John, just a couple of... in fact, before we move on, let's stick with the Aberdeen game for now, because we're going to have to go in a few minutes, John. But What was your goal of the match, John, if you can remember that far back? Because that was a few days ago. Dyson's volley, Jota's scuff, McGregor's decent shot, Yang's wee volley and off the post. Or Dyson's, it was a cross from Alistair, wasn't it? And he's more or less a tap in. Wasn't anything special there. Maybe McGregor's the pick for the bunch. Maybe Dyson's volley. I don't know, John. What was your goal of the match?
I'll give it to Callum McGregor, Xander. I thought that was an outstanding wee finish from Callum. There isn't a bad goal he's scored this season, and that's another great goal, great finish. So I'm giving it to Callum.
Yeah, nice finish from Callum. And my man of the match was Dyson for me. He just never stops, does he? And he gets 2 goals as well. Who's your man of the match, John, just quickly?
I was going to give it to Engels. I thought Engels had a great game. But Dyson, just like he says, he never stops. I thought it was a close one between him and Engels. I was going to give it to Engels, but I think Dyson, you can't take it away from him. Outstanding performance, as per usual. He's getting raved about by the Bayern Munich players and all that as well. Outstanding talent, Xander. I mean, this is the thing with Dyson, isn't it? How long can we hold on to him?
That's it. You've got to look at that as well, John. And you've brought that question up actually as we're running out of time, but we will bring that back up again. Because I also wanted to have a wee word on Engels as well. But yeah, because Dyson is still a good age. He's still only, 27, John? So he's still got 4 or 5 years left on him, and there'll be clubs sniffing about him in the summer. I can guarantee you that. But we'll bring that up in the next podcast, John. A wee quick word on Engels, John. It's good to see the £11 million boy finally picking it up, John, and he's putting in some really decent performances just now.
Aye, but like I says, I just thought Engels, it was a close thing between him and Dyson. Engels, very industrious, good passer of the ball as well, good crosser of the ball. The only thing he's lacking is, sticking the ball in the net. He's been very close a lot of times, hitting the bar, hitting the post, scored a lot of penalties. I think he scored 1 goal from open play. But his general play in the centre of the park, outstanding, Xander. Aye, I'm very happy with him.
Yeah, he's really picked up a notch. And it was always going to take a player like Arnie Engels, coming from another country to settle. And he looks as though he's finally settling, John. So it's absolutely brilliant news for us.
Still only 20 as well.
Yeah, it's just a boy. He's just a boy. You look at that boy that came on the other day, Bonner, he's 19. Engels is 20. There's only a year between them. So he's actually, when you look at that, John, when you look at his age, taking everything else into account, he's come from Belgium, etc., John, he's actually doing a tremendous job just now.
He certainly is, and let's hope he can keep it up tomorrow against St Mirren. Celtic, 6 games away from winning the titles, under 6 games. Let that sink in. Yeah,
that's it, John. It's just tremendous. If we win the rest of our games up until the split, we win the league before the split, and that is just a brilliant achievement by Celtic if we do that. As you say, John, good luck to the boys on Saturday evening. Remember, folks, 5:30 kick-off. Good luck to the boys. Hit that like, share and subscribe button, please, if you don't mind. No competition this week. We'll return that next week because I need to have another wee look at the competition, folks. Because the last time we done it last week, there wasn't many entries, maybe about 10-15 entries, and that's no good enough. So I'm going to have another wee look at that, folks. But if you want to put a wee guess into the comments for the correct score, by all means, go ahead. And we'll read them out in the next podcast. Thanks for coming on, John. We'll catch you on Monday.
I'll catch you Monday, Xander. Hail, mate.
Yeah, everybody. Thanks for coming on.